you need a pen?
No. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen's meeting of November 3rd, 2014. By necessity, Mr. Titlebaum, would you take the clerk's position for tonight?
So moved.
You have to second out of necessity.
Yeah, I just did.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's all yours.
Yay. Okay, next order of business, roll call. Present is Chairman Slavin, Selectman Whiteside, Selectman Titlebaum, Town Administrator Sullivan, and Town Council Richard Bowen. Next item, announcements. Do you have any announcements? Chairman Slavin?
No.
Selectman Whiteside?
Yes, I do. Thank you. Just a reminder that this Friday at 6 o'clock at the Wareham Free Library, you will be party to a murder. We have some very fabulous actors and actresses, including Mr. Titlebaum and Mrs. Slavin, who are screamingly funny.
I'm not pleased that you've raised expectations.
Too bad. The tickets are $25. They are available at the door. You need to be mature to come to this play. You will have what I would call heavy hors d'oeuvres and yummy desserts, and there's a cash bar. So please come. The proceeds will be used to purchase books through the Library Foundation. Thank you.
Okay, just a couple of things. First off, tomorrow is our state and federal election, the midterm election as it's known on the federal level. Polls open at 7 o'clock a.m. and they close at 8 o'clock p.m. The following polling precincts vote at the following locations. Precinct 1 votes at 54 Marion Road, which is Town Hall. Precinct 2 votes at the Hammond School, which is an onset. Precinct 3 votes at the Minot Forest School on Minot Ave. Precincts 4 and 5 vote at the Deacon School in West Wareham. And Precinct 6, once again, this is a change that started about a year and a half ago, votes at the Minot Forest School. So the offices up for election are all of the state constitutional offices, including the governor, lieutenant governor, treasurer, secretary of the Commonwealth, attorney general. I believe the auditor is also an elected position. So those are at the state level.
And 4 ballot questions.
We have 4 ballot questions. Additionally, there's a election for state senator, an election for state rep, and there's also an election to elect the U.S. representative to the Congress. So exercise your civic duty and obligation and get to the polls tomorrow. I don't believe I have any other announcements at this time. So next item.
Before we go to announcements, actually citizen participation, November 11th is Veterans Day. We are planning a fairly large parade, and so everybody knows the Board of Selectmen will not be meeting on November 11th, a holiday. So please come out and participate in the parade. It's been getting better each year, and we need to have more people come out. And just as a quick note, in this country we're allowed to vote for people. It's a privilege. It's something you should exercise. I ask people to come out and vote. When you get 10 to 20% of the people voting out of the total, it's pretty sad. A lot of people can't vote at all where they live. So please come out and vote. Citizens participation.
Just briefly, we do have Mr. White here tonight.
Bob,
if you'd like to come out and talk about the Veterans Day parade and celebration.
I have 2 people there who represent me tonight.
That's what
Very good.
Okay,
Even
citizens
better.
participation, please. Mr. Roderick, I'm sorry, your other name?
My name, Eileen Claver.
Okay, Eileen, thanks for coming in.
Good evening.
Good evening. We're part of the parade committee along with Bob White and Sharon Boyer. Tuesday, November 11th, we're going to have a parade. It's going to kick off 10:30 from Bessie's Park. We're going to have a ceremony at the town hall outside, weather permitting, right after the parade. Also, the town hall will be open, view the military board, and Mr. Bowen's going to have military memorabilia there you can view. We're still looking for participants that want to march in the parade, or anybody wants to volunteer to bring food items over to the multicultural building, or any way they want to volunteer to help the parade. We plan a good parade, and hopefully it'll be good weather.
Do you have any contact numbers or email or anything for people who want to get a hold of you?
You can call me at 508-295-0158, or you can get a hold of Bob White or Sharon Boyer.
Thank you.
I can only say I'm fairly new to the town. This is my first involvement. Very excited to be involved in this, with anything that has to do with veterans. As a Blue Star mother, it's very near and dear to me. And I think it's just going to be wonderful, and I certainly hope everyone comes out and enjoys it.
Thank you. Welcome to Wareham.
Thank you.
My name is Paul Gagel, and I live in West Wareham. I'm a registered voter. I'm also a veteran, Naval Construction Battalion, Vietnam veteran. This is my, I'm a new member, the newest member. I've known Bob White for quite a while now, as he's involved with the cable station, and I know the people down at Wareham Cable also. I think it's very important for the town to get behind this before it starts to fizzle out. The celebrations, like the town I was from, is Walpole, Massachusetts. They don't have a parade. They haven't had a parade for a long, long time. They're very lucky they can even get a small contingent to show up at the cemetery in Walpole now. And I would hate like heck to see that happen here in Wareham, because I think there's a lot of support for veterans here. I've been here for 25 years now, and I plan on stepping forward now, since I've been coming to veteran celebrations now for a while. Bob White and I plan somewhere down the road soon after this celebration Tuesday to step up and try to start the Veterans Council back up again. Now that we don't have any members. I think Jim Newman, and I don't recall the other gentleman's name that passed away, Julio?
Charlie Van Dysten.
Tom, yeah. So you'll be hearing from Bob White and myself soon, possibly Jim Bruce. And we'd like to get behind a Veterans Council. I think that's very important to do that. So Julio here, and my other member, partner here, Eileen, I'm sorry, Eileen. Sharon Boyer, who's been working tirelessly on this this venture. Just like to acknowledge myself to the board here that I'm involved now, and I think you're going to see a lot of support from Julio and his people. And it should be a good parade. We had a little trouble getting some marching bands. I tried myself. I went down in person to the Mass Maritime to see Lieutenant McGee. They're going to be here for the Christmas parade. I think he's going to entertain the offer of coming next year to the Veterans Parade. Nice. I hope so. They've got a great group. And I also know the music director at Dartmouth High School, and it was a little late to get him involved with me to find some more marching bands, but I think next year we might see a couple more marching bands in the parade. I've got my fingers crossed, but I think with a little work from our group here, we can make that happen. Being a resident of Wareham for the last 25 years, and I only started going to these parades 3 years ago. And don't even want to get into why I never stepped up before, but I'm here now, and I'm very proud of the fact that we have a great group led by Bob White and Sharon Boyer, and that's about it.
Thank you very much for stepping up. It's appreciated.
Yeah, we've had the issue with the Veterans Council, and I know I go usually when we do the memorials at the cemeteries, we're down to about 6 or 7 people. It's kind of sad, so I'm glad to see someone's finally picking up the mantle and going. this board will help in any way they can. Thank you very
We
much.
want to work
Thank
to
you.
change that.
We will change it.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
We'll
Thank you.
appreciate the help.
Just
Thank you.
want to say thank you for your service to your country, first of all. I very much appreciate it. Because of people like you, I get to sit in a place like this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My daughter is a social worker at Walter Reed in the Wounded Warrior Program, so.
Bless her.
Yes. And bless the people that she works with. I certainly will help in any way that I can next Tuesday. So my phone number is on, it's public, so. And I'm guessing that you and I are both going to be active next Tuesday. So you can count on the two of us. Mr. Slavin will be out of town, but
We will find you.
you won't have to look too hard. Thank you very
It's the
much.
first time
Thank
I've
you.
missed in quite a while. I enjoy serving the food as well, but they'll take my reins this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Didn't hear that, Bob. My designee, right.
Let's see. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak to the board tonight?
Mrs. Slavin?
Well, good evening.
Good evening. I have to bring my paper up. I have so many topics.
Overjoyed, I'm sure.
Yes. When articles are passed at town meeting, how long before they can be implemented?
Depends on the nature of the article.
Transfer of Hammond and West School?
Those can be acted upon immediately. They don't require any vetting by the Attorney General.
Okay, so school committee can turn the heat off and stuff like that, so,
We don't want them to turn the heat off, but they can pass the keys over, yes.
okay.
That was discussed this morning.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. But the other things like the CPA funding and stuff like that, that has to be approved before we can start spending the money?
Has to be
I
certified by
don't-
the clerk.
Yeah, the votes, all of the votes have to be certified for the clerk. That's the threshold for everything that happens at town meetings. So until the clerk certifies things, then technically nothing has happened.
Including the schools.
Theoretically, including the schools as well, because those votes all have to be certified.
With the election tomorrow, that will slow the clerk down a
Yes, it
probably a
will.
week.
Right,
Quite a
so
bit.
you probably won't see any certifications on anything until next week, would be my guess.
At the-
Okay.
Yeah,
Because after the election, of course, she has to
certified.
tally the vote, report the vote, do all those things.
Several years ago, a trash committee was formed by the Board of Selectmen.
It's moribund.
One of the reasons, sorry?
It's moribund.
Stop interrupting her.
One of the reasons it was formed is to educate the school children. And that was one of the principles of the trash committee being formed, to go into the schools and educate them regarding littering. I know that Mr. Slavin's trying to get people to pick up, and I remember a discussion at a previous meeting that until we teach our children, we're going to continue to have littering. So I was wondering if this trash committee was going to be reformed. No, so you probably should vote to take it off the books then, because it's there as a committee.
The board will reach out to the school department to see what we can put together also. We have basically, once we get past the next few weeks, we have a whole set of agenda items that we have put out at the beginning of the year that we'll go back to before we hit the budget cycle, which will start about 4 weeks from now.
And then the other thing is that the schools all have community service segments, all the different clubs in the different schools. And I've actually spoken with 2 of the clubs already in the high school about the veterans' issues, getting things done, picking things up. So I can talk with you about that.
And this is one of my topics, master plan. Nothing has happened. I really think it's going to take us a couple years to complete a master plan. I have no idea why we haven't even started it. I mean, we still have people to contact to be on the committee, and that's not even happening. So I was wondering how serious the Board of Selectmen was on the master plan. I mean, nothing's happened.
We've
Okay.
appointed one of the members to head it up initially. We have a choice. Mr. Sullivan can make the decision. Either Mr. Pichette, who's the acting planner, or Mr. Salpina, who's the seated director, can fill that position, and we can get started. So
You don't need a planner to
let me-
contact.
Let me finish, please. Thank you. You have the people at the start, therefore you can get a couple members of the master plan committee can call a meeting to set up and start it. You don't have to wait for the selectman designee to start it.
And I would urge you to do that. The master plan, the latest master plan is on record as 1998.
Yes, it is.
And as, it's 154 pages long, and I think that there was an enormous amount of work that went into it, but that's a long time ago. And it is important for us to keep moving our target and to keep setting goals for the betterment of the town. So I would urge you, are you a member of the
I've
master
been
plan?
appointed by Conservation Commission.
Good. Do what the chair is suggesting and call a meeting, because you can. Any member of a commission can call a meeting.
Who do I speak to about contacting the organizations that were asked to send a representative and they probably don't know about it?
You can get a hold of Janet Wilson in the selectman's office. She'll have a list of what constituted the committee, see where it's at, and then Mr. Sullivan can assist you there also,
Okay.
because those are department heads.
And in Mr. Slavin's absence, I'd be happy to work with you on that. I know,
He's making a note.
but I'm just saying,
That was it, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
thank you.
And I'm looking forward to a 2-week vacation.
So is he.
True enough. Any other citizens who'd like to speak to the board tonight? Okay.
Appointments, interviews, and reappointments.
Yep.
Beach and tourism. Peter, you've got the list there.
Yes, I do. We have 2 applicants. Let's see, we'll start with, go alphabetical here, start with Cheryl Begangan.
Hi.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good, thanks. Nice to see you again,
You as well.
Hi, Cheryl.
interviewing for the
Yes.
committee you wanted to be on in the first place. So
Yes.
This is good. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you'd like to be on this committee?
Sure, thank you, Peter. I run the In and Onset Bay. I've been in Onset since 2009, and recently purchased a home in Wareham, and just have a vested interest in growing tourism, and also I think I have a unique perspective from hearing from the tourists all the time about what they like, and perhaps how things could be improved, to offer more than what we offer. So I'm so excited that there's a committee.
I move that, well, first of all, thank you very much, but I move that we appoint Cheryl Beganyan of 181 Onset Avenue, Wareham, to the Beach and Tourism Committee to a term that expires no later than June 30th, 2017.
Second.
And my address is actually 260 Lake Ave in East Wareham.
Say it again, please.
260 Lake Ave
Okay, I'll make the correction here.
in
Yep.
East Wareham.
Thank you.
Motion by Mrs. Whiteside, second by Mr. Titlebaum. Any questions? None heard, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 300. Thank you very much.
The paperwork will be ready for you tomorrow in the selectman's office. You take it down to the clerk's office and get sworn in. I don't even know that the clerk's office will be
don't-
open tomorrow,
yeah,
however,
not
because of
tomorrow.
the election, so you might want
Yep.
to wait till Wednesday.
Great.
Okay, next applicant, Judy Capriccio. Good evening.
Aye.
So again, if you could tell us a little about yourself and why you would like to do this.
Well, I've been in Wareham my whole life, summers, and I just moved down here full-time in May. And I think Wareham has so much to offer in terms of its beaches and its beauty, and I think I would just love to get the word out there about how great a place Wareham is for tourism and beaches. And I was recently elected president of Swiss Beach Improvement Association too, so I thought the two worked hand in hand.
Excellent.
I think it's really good that we're getting people from Pacific areas that are involved with the tourism, involved with recreation in the town, and basically our water assets. It's nice to have someone from Onset and someone from Swiss Beach step up, so we have a mix. Plus, people are already there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
And
much.
one of the things that actually came up recently at the Beach and Tourism Committee was that we had focused on tourism, but not so much the beaches. So I think with these 2 appointments, we'll have rectified that.
I move that we, is your name Judy, or is it
Judy.
Judith? It is Judy. Judy Capariccio?
Capariccio.
Capariccio of 14 Roby Street, Wareham, Mass., to the Beach and Tourism Committee to a term to expire no later than June 30th, 2017.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Whiteside, second by Mr. Titlebaum. Any questions? None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 300.
Thank you so much.
again.
Thank you for stepping up. It's appreciated. Okay, next up, licenses and permits.
Red Robin.
Let's see, we have an application for change of manager from Red Robin.
This has been sitting for quite a while. I think we finally got the paperwork submitted. We can go ahead with it unless you have anything wrong with it.
Give me half a second here. I'm planning to be clerk tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, it all appears to be in order here. The license copy is here. The vote of the corporation authorizing the change of manager is here. Let's see.
Go ahead and make the motion
Quarry
then.
form is here, and everything else is here, so should be good.
Move,
I'll do that.
okay, go ahead.
I move to grant the application for change of manager to Red Robin International, Inc., doing business as Red Robin Gourmet Burgers, 2421 Cranberry Highway, Wareham, Massachusetts, 02571, from Heidi Hallett to Tyler Fisher.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Titlebaum, second by Mrs. Whiteside. Any questions?
That would be effective immediately.
Yes.
Yes. None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 300. Thank you.
We have one more change of manager. Let me just get these signatures started. Okay, the next one is also an application for change of hours from the liquor locker, 3021 Cranberry Highway. Okay, we have the application. We have the certificate of the corporate vote authorizing the change.
They're just changing hours, I think, Peter, on this one.
Yeah, it is, just a change of hours.
This is that new
Yep.
10 o'clock law.
Exactly. So everything's in order here. I move that the Board of Selectmen approve the application of the Liquor Locker, Inc., DBA Liquor Locker, 3021 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham, Massachusetts, to change their hours from Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., Sunday, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m., the new hours are Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Oh, the first one must have been 9 to 11 p.m. I don't know why they wrote 9 to 11 a.m. Let me just correct that. Let me start the motion over again. Move to approve the application of Liquor Locker, Inc., DBA Liquor Locker, 3021 Cranberry Highway, East Wareham, Massachusetts, from the current hours of Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., Sunday, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m., the new hours to be Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., Sunday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Titlebaum, second by Mrs. Whiteside. Any questions of the board? None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 300.
Once again, just wait and get the signatures going here.
Mr. Titlebaum, just to make life easy,
Right.
I'd like to go to the 48-hour. We have a request for a license from Cape Cod 5.
Yep.
I don't want to keep them here all the way through town business. I think it's a separate folder.
It is.
Okay, thank you.
This is a special license. If you'd like to come up.
Sure.
Okay, what we have here is a application for special license pursuant to Chapter 138, Section 14, for the Cape Cod 5-cent Savings Bank for November 17th. Hours of sale, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. for beer and wine at Cape Cod 5, 10 Rosebrook Place, Wareham. And let's see. This here, yep, that's good. Anything else I have this. Assume this is for a special event.
It's for the Canal Chamber events. They do that after-hours networking event every month, and they choose different businesses to have it at, and we were chosen to have it for the month of November.
Okay.
This also falls under our modified policy that we changed on the insurance requirements with the new lower number.
Right.
So they have more than sufficient binder insurance.
Just, if you could identify yourself for the record.
Sure, I'm sorry. I'm Ann Burnett, branch manager of Cape Cod 5 in
Great,
Wareham.
thank you. Any other questions?
No.
Before I make a motion? Okay, I move to approve a special license for sale of beer and wine only for the Cape Cod 5-cent Savings Bank, 19 West Road, Post Office Box 10, Orleans, Mass. 02653, the corporate office. Description of the licensed premises is Cape Cod 5, 10 Rosebrook Place, Wareham. Date of the event, November 17th, 2014, from 5:30 p.m. until 7:30 p.m.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Titlebaum, second by Mrs. Whiteside. Any questions? None heard, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. Thank you.
Opposed, abstained, 300. Thank you.
Thanks
Yeah,
very much.
Paperwork will be available in our office tomorrow.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Thank you. I hope you have a great event.
Peter, on the Cedar update, they're meeting tonight because they've changed their hours from 4 to 6:30. We'll leave that and see if they make it on time or not tonight.
I actually asked, I saw the chairman of Cedar out in the parking lot earlier and asked, and said I would text her when time was getting nigh to see where they were.
I spoke to her also, same thing.
Is all set?
Those are all set.
Next item B.
Okay, next item is vote to surplus police department handguns. This is on the agenda.
This is just something that we need to vote to do because the town meeting voted to go ahead and purchase a new, I forget the dollar amount, the number of guns for new guns for the police department. So they were allowed to basically, I think, trade them in or whatever the process is. Cut the costs down for the town.
Is that it, Mr. Sullivan? Yep.
Nailed it, so.
So if you want to make a motion now, just to give them authorization.
Okay, I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to authorize as surplus equipment the sale of existing police department handguns.
Second.
Before we do it, and that the surplus will be taken care of under normal procurement, Mr. Sullivan?
Correct, yes.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 300.
Next up, vote to approve commercial soft shell clam regulations. We do
Mr.
this every...
Sullivan, is Gary here for this, or
What?
do we need an explanation for any of this?
Oh,
or
that's
not?
right, we got the junk dealer license. I skipped over that.
Oh, sorry, go back to the other one.
Sorry.
It's okay. This particular request came in, this is a license that we authorized with stipulations and restrictions. And we basically got a request in from the gentleman wanting to put some things outside on display. Why don't you come up, sir? I would suggest that let the gentleman explain exactly what it is, and
Thank
then
you.
the board can take it under consideration.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charles Lewis from Racket.
Thank you.
There's easements against me, which I agreed upon the last time that they granted me the license, which I thank you again. There is a little section there on the side of the property. It's a little knoll by 10 feet by 20 feet, and I'm requesting if I could put out 4 or 5 pieces of furniture. It has a lot to do with my business. My sales have been down since day one. That's the only thing I'm asking for. If I can get that one easement, I will apply and stand behind what you people have requested me to do as far as vehicles sold. I changed my outlook. I do auctions. I'll do on-site auctions rather than having them bringing the stuff to me. I could do it at their residence or business or whatever. I am requesting to put a few bicycles outside there, a few pieces of furniture, and that'll be about it.
Questions from the board? Mr. Titlebaum? Would the board like to go visit the property, come back in 2 weeks? make a decision? or would you
Yeah,
like to
I'd kind
discuss
of like
it?
to see what we're talking about here, where they'd be stored. I mean, we just voted on this a month ago with the conditions that were attached, and I think all 5 of us at the time were fairly strong that we wanted all these conditions adhered to. It's a little surprising to me to see you back before us, not even a month
Okay.
later, looking to get one lifted. I'm not saying it's not for a good business
I understand
reason,
that, I understand.
but I do think that it would be remiss of us, given the strength of the discussion and the strength of the vote the last time, to not at least give the other selectmen an opportunity to be here.
I agree with that.
So I would, this isn't a hearing, so we don't have to move to continue it, but I would suggest that we take this up when we meet again.
Then we'll table this and bring it back on the 18th.
Okay,
Could the board make sure it gets scheduled for them?
The
We
18th.
shall.
okay.
18th of November, that's 2 weeks.
And I'm all in favor of cleaning
Doesn't
up
matter.
excuse me, sir, I didn't mean to
It's okay,
interrupt
go
you there,
ahead.
sir. I'm in favor of cleaning up Cranberry Highway, which I applied to do so as well from day one as requested. I have all my landfill stickers and so forth. To my knowledge, it's called a junk license. I'm also an antique dealer for the last 35 years. Now, somebody told me that there's a special license for a antique dealer's license required, or is it going to junk license?
It's a different license than a junk license.
It's a different license. I understood from the board that that was the license that I had to have from day one. Do I apply for my antique license? I'm not certified, but I've been doing this for 35 years as an antique dealer. They put it on as a junk license.
I think that had to do with the different things you were selling besides. Mr. Bowen?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I believe in our zoning bylaws, we have
Yeah,
we have a retail business, then we have a junk business.
And I'm
Sure.
also a licensed auctioneer from the state of Massachusetts, which I paid $5,000 to
Yeah,
attend that
that's-
school.
Well-
That has nothing to do with it, but
well,
We have a license for that.
for purposes of licensing, as distinct from zoning, the distinction that you were making is correct under zoning, but for purposes of licensing, you could be Sotheby's,
correct.
running the highest end antique store on the
Okay.
East Coast,
Right.
on Cranberry Highway, and you'd still have to get a junk license from the board.
Okay, I have my junk license, which I was granted, and I appreciate it, the opportunity to utilize this, okay? But now, do I have to come back and ask for my my other license? As an antique dealer?
No.
This is two different licenses, or?
No.
it's a-
No.
No.
it is-
Sorry if I confused you.
No.
What it is under zoning, there'd be differences where the particular business could operate, that's all.
No.
Okay, so this is not
An
required.
antique dealer is just a junk dealer with a fancy title.
Thank you. This is what I'd like to get clarified. There's
You-
other,
You would just have to register with the clerk, you know, that you're running a separate
Okay.
entity as well, that's.
now, if I decide to move across town to a bigger location, does that license travel with me to the new location in this town, or it's dead right there?
It's for the location
For the
specific.
location only?
Premises license.
Premises license. Now, if I did want to move, I can apply for the junk license to be
You come back,
transferred.
come back to the
Okay.
board again.
There are other issues. Other people are moving in town, and they have a furniture business, same as I. And the last time this gentleman here, Stephen Holmes, stated that there will be no more granted of the permits for junk license, and I have the last one, which I appreciate. Now, there is other dealers coming in this town. Do they need the junk license? Because there's 3 locations that are gonna be opened up within the next 2 weeks, and one is already functioning.
Are they selling used or new?
Yes, sir.
That information will be looked into by our town administrator. Thank you very much. Because it's an administrative.
Just sorry about that.
That's a code enforcement issue. The code enforcement officer under our town charter is the Director of Inspectional Services.
Mr.
So
Moore.
that information would logically go to him
Okay.
for investigation and review.
One other question I have, my button neighbor, there's a lot of stuff outside. I myself never left product outside. My product was valuable to me and my customers, and I always brought it inside at night, closing time. There is a lot of stuff on Cranberry Highway that is left out overnight, furnitures and so forth, okay? And one, there is no access that there's no way to walk on that brand-new bridge. The state probably spent $20-odd million to build that bridge, and I think they're doing a hell of a job. I myself suffered a loss of income because I wound up renting out another store. I had to pay double rent, double heat, double electricity for 2.5 years, which is still ongoing. I'm still stuck with this other store, but that's beside the point. There has to be walking for people to walk. If a person comes down Cranberry Highway at my location, they have to go out into the state highway, which Cranberry Highway is a state highway, and it's dangerous. I myself, they had those triangle signs out there, which is a warning sign. I almost got clipped, T-boned the other day because the sign was in the wrong position where I came out, partially my fault, because I came out a little bit too fast, okay? But I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of stuff left out on Cranberry Highway. I cleaned up my act, and I'm all for, and I also moved.
The construction you're talking about is still half a year to a year away from being finished. When it's all done, you'll have the sidewalks back, but unfortunately, it's a state project. You know, it's a bridge replacement, and everybody suffers when that's happening.
And I agree, you know, which I did, and I'm not complaining about that. I'm the guy who's paying the rent and everything else.
We have no control over that at all.
I understand that, sir, but there is control of items left out to clean up Cranberry Highway, and pedestrians walking up and down my location, they have to step out, and when the town comes down, I will address that, how this people have to walk out beyond the safety line, the white line, and they're out on the highway, and it's very dangerous.
I understand.
So, I appreciate your time, folks, and I'll see you back here at what date?
The 18th.
18th.
The 18th. Thank you for all.
Thank you.
Yes, good night.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next item, vote to approve commercial soft cell clam regulations. We don't have the harbor master here, but I think this is the third time I've seen these, and I don't see that they look much different.
Yeah, it's just the same thing every year,
Yeah,
so
it's
we
just
can
an
open up
annual,
the fishery.
You can only apparently establish the regulations for the existing year because conditions change with the various beds and whatnot, so.
Right.
I move the Board of Selectmen approve the commercial soft cell clam regulations as provided from November 1st, 2014 to April 30th, 2015.
Second, soft shell clam regulations. You said soft cell. I'm sorry, you got me laughing now. See, Sally sells sheets. I can't even do it. I seconded it.
Now, this motion is for the oyster fishery?
No,
No,
this is for the
commercial
soft.
soft shell clam regulations. They said it right that
It's
time.
right. It's this
Clam
one.
regs.
It's not this one here, then.
No,
No, it's attached to it.
I'm actually missing some of that stuff, so.
Here. Second.
Okay, hold on a second, please.
She sells
Seashells.
seashells by the seashore.
She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. That's not hard.
I think I've only got the oyster stuff,
Oh, here.
unfortunately. It says 4, I don't know.
It's the same old reg.
It's the same reg.
Yeah, I know it is, I just want to make sure. I know Gary was trying to get a hold of all the stakeholders, to make sure this was, you know, that everybody was taken care of properly.
He,
Okay,
It's
I
on the
did,
agenda. I don't see any of them here, so I guess
Yeah.
they were happy with
I
it.
don't think he did the oyster, this is just the soft shell.
yeah, we have the oyster
We have
piece
the
here.
We have it
Oyster.
we have it on this, but I don't have it in the packet, so.
Because I think if I look at the email, it was crossed out, the oyster
Yeah.
section.
There
It was.
He was gonna meet because there was some questions about the oyster closure.
right.
Some people were,
He
on the
has,
commercial end, had some
So we'll wait on
concerns.
that one then?
he had Mr. Underhill do a GIS map
Yes.
with outlining the different areas. I saw it this evening, so.
All right, you okay with the clams over there?
Yeah, I'm all set. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, we have a motion and a second?
Motion by Mr. Titlebaum, second by Mrs. Whiteside. Any other questions? None
None.
heard,
No.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? 300. Just make a notice again that we usually, even, he's got November 1st, April 30th. We have been having him review this every 6 months with us, which is basically what this is again. So when we can get the fishery back open again, we will. What else you got from us?
I guess we're gonna, per the email where it's crossed out and where it's not included in, with the other materials regarding a shellfish management location and vote on management regulations, I don't see that, and I also don't see a recommendation by Harbor Master to approve an extension on commercial oyster license application period, so items F and G should be continued.
Okay.
Until the 18th.
Yeah, we can continue.
Do you agree with that, to the 18th?
Yeah, that'll be the sewer meeting, but there won't be that much, so you can add it to it while I'm gone.
Okay.
'Cause
I'm making a note on the agenda here, so.
we need to have some paperwork for that. We just can't go ahead and vote on it.
No. Nope.
Without knowing what we've got.
Okay, next item, review of town meeting results and any actions needed. So this was on here, just to establish follow-up. The first follow-up, obviously,
You didn't have
is...
that at all, right?
No, that was not in the packet.
Let's see, this is what I had.
Yeah. What I got?
Did you get this one?
Yeah, I got all, that's what I got is all that, so that's why I was concerned.
May I have that?
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait. I don't want
Okay.
to pass something until we have Gary here to answer some questions.
Yep.
Come back at the next meeting. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Just moving on, review of town meeting results and any actions needed. Obviously, this is on here because, first off, the sewer commissioner legislation, we're gonna have to, once the vote is certified, we're gonna have to get that immediately up to our state representative and state senator.
Yeah.
Wherever they may be after tomorrow, although we probably have a pretty good idea.
We just need to get the, the vote certified, et cetera. The sewer commissioner article, which is a special act modifying the town charter, will require that our office, the selectman's office, send to our state representative and our state senator a copy of the motion and the basic warrant article itself. Then they have to basically start the process. Usually the senator does it first, and then our representative goes second as far as putting a bill together. And what happens normally is it gets reviewed by in-house attorneys at the House and Senate, not the Attorney General's office. It goes through a whole process, goes through the clerk of the House, clerk of the Senate, and then it gets on the floor. They do 2 or 3 readings, and it's a process, but I'd like someone from the board to take the leadership and do what we've done before, to follow through, because if you don't put pressure on it, it doesn't get done quickly.
I can work with Attorney Bowen on that.
That'll be fine. We'll go ahead with that. So that particular article there requires us to do the work. It's not the town clerk, because people blame the clerk before for not getting these done. The clerk has no actual official duty with this. Capital plan was fine, the union contracts, free cash to stabilization.
We'll have to forward the
Swiss Beach rededication.
Swiss Beach rededication, that's just a matter of getting the vote certified and then immediately filing that restriction with the having a tough night tonight, can't speak, with the Registry of Deeds, the appropriate language to rededicate the property.
Swiss
I can work on that with council as well.
Okay. Swiss Beach, the sewer system, Mr. Sullivan will handle that one. Project water pollution control facility.
Yeah, that's
MS.
the 750,000 we've set aside,
Yeah.
and there's really nothing that needs to be done from that part.
Okay, Article 10, we'll have to wait, I think, for the AG to review the bylaw change.
That will go up, I believe, from the clerk to the Attorney General.
That goes to the clerk. I believe they've got 90 days, right?
90 days to either reply or by operational after 90 days it goes into effect.
Yeah, the only thing I'd ask is that we make sure it gets up soon, because sometimes the articles sit for, because of different reasons, you know, sometimes 30 to 45 days before they actually get out after town meeting.
I'd be happy to work with.
Okay. Everybody's shorthanded, so that's
know.
kind of what
Yep.
it is. Just put up with me as I go through this. Robotic system, that's just something that they have okay to purchase. Harbor receipts, housing inspection program, that's just ongoing, so Mr. Ethia can continue on that. CPC is just a matter of getting approval of the funds. Parker Dam restoration. We'll have to notify, Derek, are you gonna notify the state office department on the grant that we got, that the article was passed and approved by town meeting?
Goes in with the application, doesn't it?
They've already requested to go over everything with us to sign the application.
Good, because I know they're waiting to hear whether or not we went ahead. Okay. Tremont now, we're gonna be paying off the Bryan Farms and,
So Mr. Foster will take care of that.
That's just
Sure.
an administrative task.
Yep.
yeah, I know, I just, street layout was convey the land at Bay Point, that was put on hold, return the West School, so we can work on that. On the West School, I had former town engineer and bring some paperwork to me about, what was it, Anna Marie, was it?
Annie.
There's a facility in Rochester that caters to seniors 55 and older, I believe. It's got like a community center with residential units around it. And where the West School is, we also have a piece of land the town owns that butts right up against it. And this is actually run by an endowment that I think it was a cranberry grower actually donated like $1 million to start it,
Annie Maxim.
which was quite nice, but they've taken their money, invested it. They take no money from Rochester, it's all fully independent, and they run this facility, and it's quite nice. So I've got paperwork, explanations. The gentleman is gonna do some more work and see if there's any availability of finding a grant or an endowment. Possibly we could recreate the same idea. So I gave Mrs. Whiteside a copy of the folder.
Right. I actually went online and printed a list of all of our not-for-profits registered in Wareham according to the state. And there are a couple of names that showed up there that might fit into this very
I mean, we could look
nicely.
to the Wareham Housing Authority. Just very quickly, the two lots are MR 30, it's 2.64 acres of upland, fully buildable. You could probably put in 12 one-bedroom units in there, and then have a community center right in the middle as well. It's just
Right.
something to look at, because we need to look at all options, because obviously we're running into roadblocks everywhere.
Right.
So just, so the board knows we'll be trying.
There's also, is it just 2.46?
2.64 acres.
2.64, because there's another lot next to it as well.
Yes, that's not ours, but that's,
No, I know, but it's,
that's a
Available.
possibility with that also. And the MR 30 it's fully buildable there.
right.
There's no issues, and there's no FEMA issues, et cetera. Okay, that's all I've got on
Okay, next item,
the Starts
discussion.
warrant. Just like to thank everybody that came to town meeting. It was 2 days. It went very smoothly. And again, I think we continue to have town meetings that people actually don't mind coming to, which is what the end game is here. The idea is to work together and come up with a solution that everybody agrees to. Thank you.
Okay, next item, discussion volunteer dinner.
We've done a volunteer dinner once a year, sometimes twice. We haven't really discussed the kind of time that's slid by. I don't know if the board wants to do something in December or not. If it is, we'll need to,
You want-
it's either December or January. January, a lot of people go away that are volunteers, they take off. So I would say that when, hopefully the two other selectmen are back on the 18th, go ahead and discuss it while I'm gone. And you know my answer is yes.
Yeah, I think we definitely want to do it, but we'll pick a date that,
Yeah. Because we do one for the volunteers, we do one for the town
Right.
employees.
Yep.
The next item you have, Peter, is policy 0801, that's Mr. Tropiano, so
Yep, we'll wait
needs to
till
be
the 18th.
rescheduled. Next one is a report from Mrs. Whiteside with her and Kathy Bird on the, trying to get the private and public roads finalized as to who's what where.
Did you come up to within 60 years of today, or are you still back in
What's that?
ancient
Another,
history?
a person who chooses not to be named, and myself have been working on the private-public road issue. We have gone back to 1910 in the town reports in the town clerk's office. The basis for the starting gate, I guess, are 7 different lists. One from the fire department, one from each of the 2 fire departments, one from the police department, one from the planning board, one off the town clerk's records, one from the website, and there was another one someplace else. To date, there are approximately 952 roads in Wareham. Approximately 452 of them have been researched and have been designated as either public or private. It appears that it's now going to be a slower process because some of these streets just plain don't exist. Oh, the assessor's list is the other one. So it probably is going to come down to getting in the car and actually going and looking at the road, and then going to the registry when we are closer. I have to say that the individual who has been working on this has spent over 100 hours. The problem with me researching it is that I start reading all of the town reports. You know, I read about our airport committees, and I read about cranberry revolutions and all sorts of cool stuff. And I get off track. What can I tell you? Anyway, it is in progress. It is a pile of work, but it's also getting there.
Thank you. Okay.
Any other town business not reasonably anticipated 48 hours prior to the posting of this meeting? Mr. Chairman?
No.
Selectman Whiteside?
Nope.
I have nothing. Now for the moment, we all wait for bated breath for the town administrator's report.
I'm gonna guess CETA's not gonna make it tonight, unless you want me to speak really slowly.
No, that's quite all right.
The first item I just want to bring forward is we've had a lot of requests for information on what's going on in Heinz Field. And the simple answer is it's just a staging for the 12th Street Road project. So they're not really doing anything to the Heinz Field area, and anything that's any results from having the equipment there and stuff, they'll be mitigated in the end of the project. The other item is just want to take a moment from town meeting. I know the Selectman Slavin thanked a lot of people, but the department heads who generally didn't get a chance to speak put a lot of effort into there, putting all the information together, even just coming up with some of the items for town meeting and putting the work for it. So I appreciate all their hard work. Madam Moderator, Town Council put countless hours in. Selectman Titlebaum came along and made it a little longer, but thanks for the input. Ended up putting a bunch of things in there that really made the motions work. So I really appreciate everybody's help, and I do. I know it probably sounds a little strange for me to thank the voters of this community, but having the quorum on the first night and the second, you usually worry about it, and everybody in there, a lot of them, they didn't have what you'd say a dog in the fight. They just came to use to exercise their voting rights, and I appreciated it. It's what all our hard work is for, so thank you.
I have one question. I've been asked by any number of people whether WCTV is going to move into the library. And to the extent actually that I was recently at a cable advisory committee meeting, and the head of WCTV indicated that they were even going so far as to look up at drawing up plans to do so. Not having heard directly from WCTV as a board, I'm just wondering if you could shed any light on this, if you knew anything about this, Mr. Sullivan?
Well, actually, yeah, and continue on the other one. I want to thank WCTV for town meeting. They stepped forward, and I know the school had cut a position, and they came in and fulfilled all our needs for that. So thank you to them. As far as WCTV going into a library, it had been requested by the library director. She was reaching out to see if there was any interest in them coming into the library. So I don't know if that answers your question.
It does, but it brings to mind sort of a separation of powers issue here, that in this instance, I'm appreciative when department heads come up with ideas for consolidation, for saving money, and even for partnership with third parties. But when you get to the third party aspect of it, then it becomes a matter for the Board of Selectmen to review, because we're essentially under the charter, the foreign policy body of the town, if you will. And I would suggest that, notwithstanding the library director's zeal to try to come up with an arrangement that might have been mutually beneficial, or so she thought, that really the proper flow for this sort of thing is from the department head to you, and then from you to us. Going forward, it creates, again, I've had all kinds of people coming up almost in hysterics at the notion that 3/4 of the library is going to disappear, they're going to throw out the books, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do the other thing. And I don't know that, there's any real appetite on the board, one way or the other, to do this. But in any event, it's never been brought to us formally as a proposal. So I just wanted to try to calm people down somewhat, but I was also curious as to the genesis of the issue. So thank you for explaining that to me. And that's all I had.
You're welcome. Mr. Titlebaum, any reports from your committees?
Nope.
Oh,
actually, I do sort of kind of have one. The Beach and Tourism Advisory Committee is in the process right now of putting the final touches on a grant application to the state to get some state tourism money. We're looking for about $16,000. We're currently awaiting some review and critique from Mr. Paul Cripps, who's the head of the Plymouth County Development Council and also the head of Destination Plymouth. He's the county tourism honcho. Honcho squared, I would say. The guy's absolutely outstanding in his field. And so he's shown a lot of interest in Wareham. He's come to several of our Beach and Tourism Advisory Committee meetings. He's given us a lot of advice. He's told us about this grant. He's told us how to go about getting it. And so we're hopeful that we can get some good news for the town once the grant is reviewed and hopefully granted.
Mrs. Whiteside.
Yes, thank you. Last Thursday, the library trustees hosted a meeting at the library for the library trustees, the Friends of the Library, and the Library Foundation. And the point of the meeting was to try and figure out how to save the library. I guess that's really what it comes down to. And how to envision what the library will look like in 6 months, in 6 years, in 16 years, that kind of thing. It was well attended. There were some interesting ideas that were brought out. I don't think that there were any resolutions, but they are going to be meeting again. And it was really nice to see the 3 groups that are supporting the library, the trustees, the foundation, and the Friends, all working together for the same aim, which is to support the library. That's number one. The cemetery commissioners, I'm the liaison to that, and I've had long discussions with Mr. Slavin, and that will be, I think, being brought forward at a future meeting. They have not been able to have a meeting this past month in October, so we're at a standstill there. I think I'm the representative to the veterans agent, and so that was really nice to hear from the individuals this evening that they're going to be working together to get a strong veterans council. And I think that one of the things that we all say is, you know, if you have an idea, that's great. If you have some muscle, put the muscle behind the idea. And it's wonderful to see that we've had a lot of new faces applying for positions, whether it's beach and tourism or whether it's council on aging or whatever it is. So I appreciate that. We've talked before about how do people let us know, let the town know, other than just through the media, so newspapers, whatever, what kind of volunteer opportunities are available. And I think we have on our website volunteer opportunities with the town, but I'm really looking for what I would call community volunteer options or opportunities. There have been several people who've stepped up and would like to work on the VFW building, and I guess the person who they should contact would be me at the Selectmen's office. Leave your name, your phone number, and your email. At the moment, the parking lot for the building is being used, I think, by, what is the name of that? It used to be Springboard.
Smithers.
Smithers, yeah. I believe they are, the employees from Smithers Vizino are using the American Legion parking lot while the construction goes on.
Yes.
So it's difficult to do anything right now, but that doesn't mean that we can't plan for the spring and perhaps dedicating a tree to, there were 3 members that they lost this past year. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the fact that there are many people who are willing to help, whether it's, you know, working on a playground or, you know, putting a coat of paint on a fence. And I appreciate the fact that a lot of people are stepping forward. It just makes it nice. Thanks.
Just to go back, the meeting this past Thursday, which had the 3 different library groups, one of the groups was asking, one of the people was asking what they do working together, so there was some information, and I think probably it opened up everybody's eyes that maybe they need more communication between themselves. What was interesting, though, is that the sale program, which we all, in my opinion, thought when the library gets decertified goes away, that's a separate fee that we pay to the state, which I believe has been paid, so the sale program is still in effect. It doesn't go away with the certification loss. I'm hoping that as we move forward, when we have issues like this, that people will either ask the selectmen, contact town hall, instead of going out and thinking something's going to happen and these rumors become fact. We had one person sit there all upset about that we were going to be taking the stone room and they were going to be throwing away all the historical records of the town, etc. None of this has ever been discussed or talked about, and it just makes everybody, you know, upset for no reason at all. And, you know, it's very straightforward. If someone asks us that question, we'll give you a straight answer, so ask us. The other things that are going on, the ZBA has lost their vice chair, and we are looking for a person to step up and join the ZBA. It's a very important committee because it rules on variances for the town as far as zoning issues, signs, all kinds of things. So if there's anybody out there who has experience in that particular field, in land court, any of that stuff at all, we'd really appreciate someone stepping up and joining the committee. And that's all I have today.
Okay, next item, consent agenda, authorization to sign bills and documents. I see none. approval of executive session meeting minutes of October 14th, 2014.
I will move that they be approved and held.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 300.
Next up, approval of regular meeting minutes of October 7th, 2014.
Move that they be, oh, I can't. I wasn't there. I can second
That's
that.
not gonna work. You shouldn't even really second.
No.
By necessity,
I'll
I'll make the
move.
motion.
I'll move to approve the minutes of October 7th, 2014,
Second.
out of necessity.
Second.
Can I vote no or not?
You shouldn't vote, no.
You
You weren't
Okay.
there.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained,
Abstain.
201.
201.
201.
Mrs. Whiteside abstaining.
Let's see, next up are minutes of October 21st.
I will move that they be accepted as written.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Whiteside, second by Mr. Titlebaum, sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain,
You abstain. Right, because you weren't here.
I was absent, yep.
Yep.
So 201.
Next up, minutes of October 27th, 2014.
Move that they be approved as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Whiteside, second by Mr. Titlebaum. Any questions? None heard. All in favor?
Aye.
300.
Next up, minutes of October 28th, 2014.
Move that they be accepted as written.
There was some activity on here that took place before I came into the meeting, so
By
I'm
necessity,
going to
I'll second
abstain.
it. Motion by Mrs. Whiteside, second by Mr. Slavin. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained? 300.
I'm abstaining
You're
because I
abstaining?
wasn't there for some of the appointments.
The only, the only
two-
one you weren't there for was the first one.
Well,
All right,
201.
201.
No problem.
safer that way?
Yep.
Let's see. I've got 3 of these for you to sign, Alan, if you'll wait until I get them straightened out.
We'll do that. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Slavin, second by Mrs. Whiteside. All in favor?
Aye.
300. Again, everybody please go out and vote tomorrow. And then November 11th, come out for the Veterans Day Parade. Good night, Wareham.
Good night.